Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the 7th biennial field day for the UAPB Lonoke Farm. And we're glad you're here. We've got such a beautiful day. I know everybody wants to stand out and talk, and I want to stand out and talk and just visit. We've got some things going on out over the farm right now. We got our workers are putting tables under tents and hay on trailers. We're trying to get everything lined up, so we're just a little bit slow this morning. We apologize for that. In your brochures, I'll call your attention to that. In the very back of the brochure, the very last page in the back of it, there should be a map. If you don't have one, see me, I'll get you one. They all should have a map. At the bottom of the map is a legend. And that legend will, you look on there, it should have a number by it. It'll tell you what number the various tour events are at. There is a narrative inside the brochure that corresponds to that. So if you look at the first one, say it's established with native prairie grass plots, inside the brochure, turn to the map, look at the map, find item number A. It'll tell you establishment of native prairie grass. It'll show you where on the map that particular tour is located. And anyone have any questions to that, well, just see me in a few minutes. I'll be glad to help you. We're going to move right along because it's about 7 minutes till 9. And right now I want to introduce Mr. Michael Florence, representing Mayor Wayne McGee from the City of Lonoke.
Good morning. We're glad to have y'all here. Obviously, y'all know I'm not the mayor. The mayor asked me to fill in for him this morning. We just wanted to welcome everybody to Lonoke. Hope y'all have a great day out here. If you got a little time to get back in our town and visit our town, we'd love to have you there. If you haven't been to our Atwood store, it's been open a couple, 3 years now, but it's like a Tractor Supply on steroids, I think. Just welcome to Lonoke.
Thank you, Michael. You know, you set these things up and you plan for several months and everything's supposed to come off and just come off like clockwork. This morning I think our clock broke. The last 2 days I've had people, I was coming but I'm not coming, and just little things pop up through no fault of their own. Our chancellor is on his way here. He'll be here later this morning. The county judge, Doug Irwin, he was also supposed to be here, and he called me last night, and he can't come today, and he wishes us a very well day here, and I hope everyone has a pleasant time. So since I've had all these dropouts, and I'm just kind of telling you where they are, we don't have anything else on the program this morning except Dr. Glover is going to give us an overview of the farm.
Good morning again. Mr. Cummins has already told you about the map that's in the back of your book. I would like to draw your attention to the other map that's the last page of this manual, and that is what the farm looked like when we first came over. We decided to break it up into different fields and also to look at the different ponds, so that you'll see that anything that is preceded by the letter P, that represented what used to be, this used to be a minnow farm, and that represents ponds. And those ponds go from P1 through P12, and P12 was actually a constructed wetland cell, which actually recycled water that was utilized in these other ponds and recycle it back to those ponds so that it could be used again. You'll notice that everything that this farm does has something to do with sustainability or the ability to reuse those resources that we initially had. And not only that, but we are interested in conserving resources. When we first started this farm, wetlands and water management were the two issues that we said that we would look at. So this farm has been designed based upon those concepts. And when we started looking at those, some of the things that we decided to include in this, of course, the farm had to be used for conservation purposes, which meant that areas that should not be farmed, that were highly erodible, had to be put into some type of conservation measure. And so we chose trees. And you'll notice that there's a forestry progeny test that's down to the north end of the farm on P8. P8 is actually run by the Arkansas Forestry Commission, and that is where they have most of their nut-out oak trials. They have quite a few pine trees. I forget the exact number, but if you look at the information in your booklet, it'll tell you exactly how many trees that they have. And these trees hopefully will become the progeny for trees throughout the southeastern United States. Also, we worked with the city and the county of Lonoke to put in a compost site. Again, this recycling method that we're talking about using. Of course, many of you know that cities and municipalities cannot put their yard waste into landfills any longer. So this compost site serves as an area where they can recycle those, and not only can the leaves and the grass clippings and things of that nature be recycled, but the people in the community can get that compost that has been made and utilize it in their gardens or in their flower beds. So it's serving a dual purpose. Also, we have numbers 1 through 11C, and those contain various cropping type of activities, as well as weed studies that are conducted by the Cooperative Extension Service of the University of Arkansas system. So there are many things that you'll get a chance to see today, including an on-farm reservoir that has been designed to look at erosion problems that are being faced by some of the other farmers in this area who have soils that are considered to be highly erosive, and they have reservoirs that are constructed on them. I won't attempt to go through each one of these individual sites, but I ask that you enjoy your day, and that if you have any questions, please feel free to ask anyone that has on a shirt that looks like this, that says UAPB Farm Field Day, and I'm sure that they will be more than happy to help you. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Glover. We're getting ready now to bust up and go out on the tours. The tractors are out here with the trailers behind them. Just get on any one you want to, and it'll take you up to a site, probably up here by the residence, by Juice's house up there and around behind the farm shop. There are, because I think that's one of them right there. There'll be at least 2 vans that you get to ride the air conditioner. But you got to go way over here about a half mile on the backside of the farm, and the Natural Resource Conservation Service National Water Management Center will have a couple people over there, and they have been helping us do a water management study on zero grade versus precision level grade on soybeans. And Keith Admire, the director of that office in Little Rock, is over there. So about every 30 minutes all morning, those vans will be picking up a crew and taking over there and coming back. While they're there, the reservoir is right next to it. If you want to see the reservoir, just ask the driver, drive up on top of the levee there, and you can just drive up there and back down. And, it's very easy to get to. But I encourage you to take advantage of those vans and go over there. We're trying to get Keith Admire as many visitors over there this morning as we can. There's with all that being said, if you got any other questions, be sure ask some of us that's got a shirt like this. There's Juice Hancock is right over here, and he is in charge of logistics. Juice, you ready to go? Ready. Okay, so we'll adjourn, and Meet back here again about 11:45 for lunch. Meantime, have a good tour.
Welcome to our station. This is the project of special nutrition of herbs and spices. And in this display, we are emphasizing on hot peppers. Don't be afraid about hot peppers. Sometimes hot peppers are sweet also. This poster we made with our new varieties under test. We have 3 different kinds of objectives in this research. One is developing a new kinds of plants, pepper plants, which is ornamental and productive. And some of them we have selected as mutant, which is completely different in their plant types. They do not grow upward, they grow on the ground like ground cover ornamental plants. And the second aspect of our research is analyzing the new varieties for special nutrition, like nutritional phytochemicals, which will protect our health against cancer and arthritis and heart disease, cardiovascular diseases, especially cardiovascular diseases and cancer. These are the 2 diseases that we are targeting with our new varieties of peppers. And we have about 50 or 60 varieties that are new varieties, but we will have to select and analyze them. And then after we analyze and the variety is ready for the market, we will go for chemical analysis for the processed food out of it. So Dr. Koo is the food scientist and microbiologist, so he will speak about the processing of the pepper products. Dr. Koo.
Thank you, Dr. J. I'm Jahan Koo, and Ms. Sawa Lee and I work together to work with Dr. J in order to make value-added products from hot peppers he grow. And these are products from our UAPB value-added product laboratories. These are hot pepper pickles and hot pepper sauce. We are successful to make this product from hot peppers, and we hope we can do more value-added product processing in our lab. Thank you.
My name is Nelson Rolón. I am Assistant State Soil Scientist, and this station is the Soil Climate Analysis Network. This is a weather station with an instrument to collect data from soil temperature and soil moisture in real time.
I'm Dave Bowling, Reforestation Manager with the Arkansas Forestry Commission. We've had a long-lasting partnership with UAPB Farm, with Julius and Charlie out here, and we began in 1993 with our first loblolly pine progeny test. The map here on this overview shows all of the plantings that we have here at the farm. We have 5 loblolly pine and 6 hardwood tests that are located on the farm. They occupy 80 acres of ground. The tests themselves are about 42 acres of ground. And the purpose for the tree improvement program is to provide the landowners of Arkansas with the best quality seedlings that we can. We have a nursery as well, so we're taking the genetic component and incorporating that into the quality of the nursery product that we grow. So that's the purpose for our tree improvement program, and UAPB Farm has made a huge commitment to helping us attain that objective. It's a long-term commitment in tree improvement. We've had over a 20-year commitment that they've made to our program here. So we're very appreciative for the partnership that we have here, and look forward to completing the project that we have and then beginning a new one.
All right, how are you doing this morning? I'm Willard Ryland. I'm with UAPB, Lonoke Farm. My job here is a herbaceous grass specialist, and one of the things we're doing with special projects here at UAPB is working with native grass species such as switchgrass, big blue, little blue, and Indian grass. And what we're doing here is trying to develop these particular species for production for small farmers in eastern Arkansas and in parts of Mississippi. One of the primary purpose of this particular project is that we're working with the Corps of Engineers on some irrigation projects, the Grand Prairie and the Biometa project in eastern Arkansas and central Arkansas, to develop seed for those particular irrigation levees that they're establishing as part of the irrigation project. We're also working with Audubon, Arkansas, and what we're doing with them, they're helping to identify small farmers in eastern Arkansas and northwest Mississippi to actually grow the native grass species. We're working with primarily 4 different species: switchgrass, big blue, little blue, and Indian grass. And as part of that particular project, we're identifying farmers in eastern Arkansas that's willing to develop projects to grow 5 to 10 acres of native grass species, and hopefully over time they'll be able to use this as an alternative crop to make an additional income from their farm operation.
My name is Bob Scott. I'm Extension Weed Specialist with the University of Arkansas Cooperative Extension Service. This is my primary research site for doing rice weed control work for the university. We have a good cooperative relationship here at the University of Arkansas Pine Bluff Research Farm, where we conduct over 25 studies annually looking at various aspects of rice weed control. One of the most important research components that we do out here is looking at the control options for barnyard grass. Currently, we have about 7 modes of action available for barnyard grass control in rice. We've been using these same 7 modes of action for over 10 years. As you can imagine, with the continued use of these herbicides, we have developed resistance in barnyard grass. So one of the most important research programs that we have out here is to evaluate new and innovative ways to control barnyard grass and rice. All of our research is published annually in the extension publication MP44, Recommended Chemicals for Weed and Brush Control. This is available through your county extension office or on the web at www.uaex.edu.
Hello, my name is Iris Cole Crosby. I'm an extension associate with the University of Arkansas at Pine Bluff. And today we're doing our southern pea harvesting demonstration. The plot is over there. We had planned to do actually put the mechanical harvester in there and do a live demonstration, but because of the rain we had yesterday, 2 inches of rain, it's a little too wet to put the harvester out there. But this is part of a project, a marketing initiative that we have with Walmart, and we're looking at 2 varieties of peas, the Mississippi Top Pick and the Louisiana Quick Pick. We've planted them at 3 different planting dates, beginning in June the 15th, and we planted them at 7-day planting intervals. The first planting was June the 15th, the second one June the 22nd, and the third one July the 3rd. They came up within about 3 days, 3 to 5 days after planting, and we irrigated them twice, first right after germination, and then the second time right after they bloomed and were flowering. We applied Treflon as our pre-emergent herbicide, and we have sprayed for insects. We sprayed right after the blooms and the pods were starting to form. The plants, we have 8 rows of each variety, and we are going to harvest, some hand harvest and some mechanical harvest. We're going to compare the yields, and we're looking at the correct stage of harvesting. And some of our farmers are harvesting the Louisiana pea. They're harvesting the first harvest, hand harvest, and then come back with a mechanical harvester. So we're looking at ways to increase the harvest and the bottom line for our farmers so that they can make the larger profits.
I am Shadrach Okiro, working at the UAPB. I'm actually a cowpea breeder geneticist at UAPB. And today we are having this field day. And what I have here in my demonstration here are peas. This shows the various types of markets, pea markets. The dry pea market, whereas when the peas are dried in the field and harvested, then they go into canning, and some of them are packaged. Now the other market is the one what we call frozen or fresh peas. And we harvest this at physiological maturity, and then, of course, it's cooked like that. Sometimes it's called purple hull, cream, crowder peas, and so on. Now, we are emphasizing, our research is concentrating on the fresh pea market. That is the purple hull market, because that is the market which the farmer, small-scale, limited resource farmers can get into and participate. They cannot really compete here with dry pea because it is contracted. So they're out of that. So we hope, we have already, the highlight today actually is that we have developed 2 varieties by now, which we are calling UAPB1 and UAPB2 for identification. And if you look at the field there, you can see the difference. The white ones there are UAPB1 and 2, and the purple one there are the old varieties, Quick Pick, Louisiana Quick Pick, and Alice Scarlet. And we have, our varieties yield at least 15% more than those. So we hope, we're moving them now to the farmers, and we hope they will use them.
Hello, I'm Henry English, Small Farm Director at the University of Arkansas at Pine Bluff. And along with me is Mr. Damian White, who also worked for the Small Farm Program at UAPB. What we'd like to talk to you today about is the economic analysis of southern peas, hand harvested versus mechanical harvest. Now, up until a few years ago, everybody harvested peas by hand, okay, by hand. But in recent years, people have begun to look at the pea harvester. The pea harvester can harvest up to 3 acres a day. Okay? But there are some things that go along with the pea harvester. 1, you have to learn how to use it. 2, the timing. There's a certain time when you pick the peas. If you get out there too soon, you have too many that are green. If you get out there too late, you have too many that are dry. But there is a big savings in the cost. And what we're going to do now is I'm going to allow Damon to go through the cost of it.
Right here we have an estimated cost per acre to raise 1 acre of peas, and that estimated cost is $245. And then we also have a fixed expense, which is another $100, which totals up to be $346. But just remember that $245. You got both of them, Doc.
I got both of them.
Okay, and then this is us comparing the hand harvest expense versus the mechanical harvest expense. Our hand harvest expense is $873 compared to our mechanical expense, which is $361. Go to the next page. We're growing an acre of peas, hand harvested. Our profit would be $2,000. Well, that's how much we would make, $2,000. With our expenses from our harvest plus our production, it comes up to a little over $1,000. So our profit would be $882. Mechanically, the amount that we would make would be $1,500. Our expenses come up to be $606, and our profit would be $894. So the comparison is the $882 compared to the $894.
Hello, good morning. My name is Obadiah Njue, and I'm with the horticulture program at the University of Arkansas Pine Bluff. And I'm here to speak to the Sweet Potato Foundation Seed Program. And this is a program that the university has started to help sweet potato farmers in Arkansas have their own disease-free, high-quality slips. And the Sweet Potato Foundation Seed Programs begins with selections of high-quality, high-yielding sweet potatoes. We select for the shape, the flesh of the sweet potato, and also the yielding quality. And then with the help of our biotechnology team, they harvest the shoot tips from the high-yielding, high-quality selected sweet potato plants, and they culture them in the tissue culture lab. They pick the cells within the shoot tips that are virus-free. They culture them. They regenerate the shoots and roots, and they also run a PCR to determine whether they are really virus-free. And once the material is virus-free, it's taken to the greenhouse for multiplication over there, and then taken to the field, and we produce the first generation sweet potatoes, or generally called G1 sweet potatoes. Those G1 sweet potatoes, once they're taken in the field, we harvest that crop, and we hope to give that crop to the Arkansas slip producers. And those are the ones that will produce slips and pass them on to our sweet potato farmers. So this whole program is designed to produce high quality, disease-free sweet potato slips, and the variety they are working on now is the commercial variety, which is the Beauregard. Thank you.
My name is Jason Robertson with the Arkansas State Plant Board. Here this morning talking about our weather network that we have. Right now we have a network of 40 weather stations across the state. Standing here at the one at the Lonoke County UAPB Farm Research Center. These stations are used by us for enforcement, but they are used by everyone in the state because they provide 5-minute updates on their weather. The farmers are absolutely loving these things. It's free data to them, free weather station to them. It's published on our website. The website for it is www.plantboard.arkansas.gov. On there you can find all the information about these stations. You can see where they're all located at within the state. Most of them are over in the eastern side of the state, of course, where the agricultural is heavier. We have actually bought 10 more stations that we'll be putting out about November.
Good morning. My name's Aaron Pugh. I'm with the U.S. Geological Survey. I'm here today to discuss with you all today about the monitoring well we have here at the University of Arkansas Pine Bluff Experimental Farm. This well is actually completed in the alluvial aquifer, Mississippi River Valley alluvial aquifer, represented here in gold. Above it we have the clay cap here in brown, which is a confining unit, and below that we have the Jackson group, which is another confining unit. So the aquifer here in gold is made up of sands and gravels, grading from sands at the top of the aquifer to gravels at the bottom part of the aquifer. The aquifer exists because the void spaces in these sand and gravels allow water to pass through it, where in these confining units you have smaller sands and shales that don't allow water to pass through it. This aquifer stretches across the entire Mississippi embayment, both north and south and east and west in the state. The well itself is about 200 feet deep and is made up of 6-inch PVC pipe that goes down to about 170 feet with about 30 feet of screen at the bottom. Within this well is a pressure transducer which sits here at the bottom and measures the amount of water above the pressure transducer. So once we know the elevation of the pressure transducer, we can then calculate the elevation of the water within the aquifer. Additionally, within the well itself, you'll have a battery which powers the pressure transducer. The cable here is for the pressure transducer. You have the data collector, which stores the data until it's downloaded through the modem, which is just a cell phone modem with the antenna up here at the top. We're collecting 15-minute data. In other words, water level is measured every 15 minutes and then is broadcast or phoned into our office about twice a day, usually about noon and again about midnight. From this data, here you can see a representation of our well. The data goes to the cell phone tower and then to our office. From our office, the data is put up online through our web page. You can look at the real-time data, or here recently we put up what they call the Groundwater Watch data website, which will have all the data for this site and allow you to do some statistical measurements on that. Additionally, from this data, we have several publications that come out. Every other year we do a potentiometric surface map of the alluvial aquifer here in Arkansas, and this well is one of those points on that map. We also do aquifer tests throughout the state. That data is all put into a summary report for aquifer tests here in Arkansas. We also use this data for models, modeling groundwater levels and how they're changing over time, both in the past, and then we'll use the past to calibrate the model, and then we can project into the future using the water use that is going on today. Looking specifically at the data for this well, you can see over time that it's declining. With this year's data, over the period of record for this well, the water level is dropping about 0.6 of a foot per year on average. You can also see it from this hydrograph, the seasonal change in water level. The white is January, February, March, the winter months. The green is spring. The red is considered the summer season, and the yellow would be the fall season. So you can see the water levels recovering through the winter, and then once they start pumping for irrigation in the spring, you can see how they drop. So you can see that annual cycle of recovery and pumping and drawdown. Additionally, you can see the changes from a wet year to a dry year. Last year you had a fairly wet year, so we didn't pump as much, so you can see the water level didn't drop as much during this past year. But you can see this summer, since it's such a dry year, you can see water levels are really dropping. Finally, the last thing I have is looking at the potentiometric surface map. What this is a map, a contour map representing the elevation of the water surface within the aquifer. This orange dot here is actually this well, and you can see we're right on the edge of this Kona Depression here in the Grand Prairie region. If we were here back in the early 1900s, these arrows represent the direction of water flowing within the aquifer. If we were here at the turn of the 19th century, all these arrows would have pointed towards the Mississippi River. With the pumping that goes on in Arkansas for irrigation, we've created these cones of depression. In other words, the water level in those areas are dropping, and you can see it's actually changed the flow or the direction of the water in these areas. There's actually two major cones of depression in Arkansas. It's one on the west side of Crawley's Ridge here. You can see this cone of depression, a large cone of depression here, and then this one from in the Grand Prairie region. You won't ever see these two connect because right here's the White River, and it actually is recharging the aquifer. And similar here, you have the Arkansas River, which is recharging the aquifer in these areas.
I want to introduce the head table to you. To my left up here is Tracy James, United States Army Corps of Engineers, Memphis District. He's representing Colonel Bernie Reichlin, who couldn't be with us today. I'm going to not overlook, but pass these two gentlemen, actually three right here, right now, four. Over here on this end is Kenneth Lee. He's representing Mike Sullivan, the state conservationist for Arkansas. You might be interested to know, all those of you that know Mike. I got a call early this morning, and his daughter, who happens to be a doctor, that I understand told her granddad that she wasn't going to go into labor anytime soon, so y'all just come on and go down to Lonoke. Well, she went into labor this morning about mid-morning. So Mike couldn't be here. He's going to be a granddad, and my longtime childhood friend, Gene Sullivan, is going to be a great granddad. Can you believe that? And on the other end of the table down here is Mr. Nola Herbert, he's a conservation engineer within RCS, Washington, D.C. And we have Robert Cole, everybody knows Robert Cole, our program coordinator, our resident farm director, Julius Hancock, on the end. I would like to thank all the workers, if y'all can hear me, if you're out there in the yard, who helped us put this on. This has been a labor of love for about the last month. Everybody has worked incredibly hard trying to put this thing on and trying to pull everything together and make everything come out. And hopefully we've done that. I always like to get a count, but I'm kind of moving fast today, and I hadn't got a count from Carter Harrison yet to see how many we've had, but I hope to do that before we all leave here. And the ladies all out here at the restoration table, if you ladies out there could hear me, thank you so very, very much. We could not have done this without you. We have some special guests, and this is the time I dread the most in doing something like this, because I invariably going to leave someone out, and I don't mean to. So if I do, just jump up and holler, get my attention. I would like to introduce Steve Briles with the Livestock Poultry Federation. Steve, you here somewhere? There's Steve over there. Joe Fox, State Forester, Arkansas Forestry Commission. We have another old-time friend of mine, Butch Calhoun, State Agriculture Department Director. We have Chris Caldwell from Senator John Boozman's office. Have Jay Sherrod, Congressman Rick Crawford's office. Our friend Tiffany Rogers, the state representative right now. Tiffany's right over there. We'd like to throw another special acknowledgement out to Dr. Dwayne Goldman from Monsanto. He sponsored the antique tractor display down here. I hope all of y'all got to see those antique tractors. At the very end of this, our presentations today, we will have a, Dr. Buckner will call off the winners, all these of who won, place, and show, and the rest of them, and we'll give those trophies out, and it'll be at the very end of this event right here. I would like to thank Walmart. Walmart provided us with a gift certificate for the morning brunch that we had. So all of our donuts and pastries and all that stuff out there was donated to us by Walmart. And we'd like to thank them. It's the local Walmart here in town is the one that done that. And I'm almost, you know, like I say, I've overlooked somebody, and I almost overlooked my childhood friend, Walls McCrary. I know Walls is around here, and see him, see Dr. Is that everything? I believe that, I hope I've got all the acknowledgments. I hope I've not overlooked anyone, and I'll turn the program back over to Dr. Garner.
Thank you. It's to introduce our speaker today, our Chancellor of the University of Arkansas at Pine Bluff, Dr. Calvin Johnson, has the honor of introducing our speaker.
Good afternoon. Dr. Garner and others are seated here at the head table, to all of the special guests and friends of agriculture in the University of Arkansas at Pine Bluff and this special outreach program. I'm so pleased to have this privilege and opportunity to appear before you this afternoon. I also want to express appreciation to all of those what I call worker bees here that's a part of this center, and I want to thank you on behalf of the university for all the work that you do and for the program that we are having here today. What you're witnessing, those of you that don't know, what you're witnessing is a part of the mission of the University of Arkansas at Pine Bluff. Not only the mission, but you are getting a chance to see the vision in action, because that is a part of the vision and mission of the University of Arkansas at Pine Bluff. I've been assigned the task to introduce our luncheon speaker, a privilege for me and an honor, but I want you to know before I get started that I was handed a note. I don't know, it might have been from one of our senators, one of the senator's staff persons, but the note read, please announce that Senator Pryor is responsible for the weather that you're having here today. So, Senator, we give you the credit for that. Also, I know some of the former legislators were introduced, and the current legislator, maybe there's some others that I didn't see, but I just want to greet them and let them know how much we appreciate what they did and what they're doing in the legislature. So please give them another round of applause. Our speaker, the Honorable Mark Pryor, is the senior United States Senator from Arkansas. Senator Pryor was born in Fayetteville, Arkansas, to the former Barbara Longsford and former Governor and United States Senator David Hampton Pryor. He is married to Jill Pryor and has 2 children, Adam and Porter. He graduated from the University of Arkansas at Fayetteville with a bachelor's degree in history, and went on to receive his Juris Doctorate from the University Law School in 1998. Before entering politics, Senator Pryor worked in private practice as an attorney, and he was elected to the House of Representatives in 1991 and served from 1991 to 1994. He was elected as Attorney General in 1998 and was a delegate to the Democratic National Convention in 2000. Senator Pryor has served in the Senate since 2003. He has an outstanding record of service as a senator, and he has served on several assignments or several committees, maybe I should say. Some of those committees had to do with Committee on Appropriations, Commerce, Science, and Transportation, the Committee on Homeland Security and Governmental Affairs, Rules and Administration, Small Business, Select Committee on Ethics. So you can see he has served well in many different areas during his tenure in the Senate. Aside from all of that I've shared with you, which was a very brief summary of Senator Pryor's work, which is a testimony to his commitment, his dedication. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm happy to present to you a person who places great emphasis on his constituents and service to his state, and I'm happy to call him a friend of ours. Please welcome Senator Pryor.
Oh, thank you. No, y'all sit down. Thank you for doing that, Senator. Thank you very much. No. Sit down. Thank you. Listen, it is great to be with you today. It is great to be with you today, and I must say I've been here several times, but this is the best weather we've ever had at this event. I wish I could say I was on that committee that somehow got that here, but anyway, it's great. It's great to see a lot of friends, a lot of familiar faces, and just great to see the heartbeat of agriculture here in this state. You guys do so many great things, and I've got to say a special thank you to Calvin Johnson. Calvin and I served in the legislature together, and he was such a great leader there, and he's been part of the Pine Bluff and UAPB community for so long, and so proud of you and so proud of all the things you're doing at UAPB. And also, Charlie, thank you for organizing this and doing all that you did to pull this together. You know, when you talk about the University of Arkansas system, of course we have Don Bobbitt here today, Dr. Bobbitt, who's over the entire system, all the 19 campuses. How many is it?
There's 11 campuses.
Okay, well anyway, all the campuses, all the programs they have. I need to make a special note on the university system and the University of Arkansas generally and the importance it plays to Arkansas. About a week or 10 days ago, I had the chance to go with Senator Bozeman and Congressman Crawford. And I know their two staff people are here, and it's great to see them here. But I went down with Senator Bozeman and Congressman Crawford to Panama and Colombia. And it turns out we did that because we've just entered into free trade agreements with those two countries. We're hoping that we can really boost Arkansas's presence there. Arkansas exports go into those countries, and of course a big export there is going to be ag products. So we were there on more or less a trade mission to try to get more ag products and more generally Arkansas products down in those two countries, and it was great. They rolled out the red carpet for us. It couldn't have been nicer. They were great. Colombia has 45 million people. It's a big country. It's a lot bigger than I realized when I went down, but it is already an okay trading partner. But now that this free trade agreement is coming, a lot of those tariffs on their end are going away. That means American, Arkansas-made products are going to be much more attractive there. So it's going to be great with Colombia. But also Panama. I don't know if you know this, but the president of Panama, Martinelli is his last name, the president of the country of Panama is a University of Arkansas graduate. He graduated from U of A in Fayetteville back in the 70s. He loves Arkansas. When we got up there, he started telling us about floating the Buffalo River and going to Hot Springs to watch the horse races and coming to Little Rock. And his family's actually a farm family down there, and his roommate and some buddies were from over here, not too far from here. I can't remember if it was in Augusta or McCrory, someplace like that, but nonetheless, he's spent time here, the president of Panama has, looking to see how we do things. Well, one of the things we did when we were there is I witnessed an agreement between the University of Arkansas and
the country of Panama, their Department of Agriculture, and they're going to do a lot of things. It's going to be an exchange. We're going to do a lot of things back and forth, but one thing they're going to try to do is they're going to try to copy our cooperative extension service and do it down there. Panama is a country of about 3 million people. They can't feed themselves currently. Of course, they have the canal, which is huge. That's their big industry, is that canal. And they have a ton of good ag land, but they don't have the right farming practices there. So we're actually going to help them become a little more self-sufficient, a little more prosperous, and we're going to, again, open that market to U.S. trade as well. So that's going to be very, very good. But the University of Arkansas can be and should be very proud of that. We should all be proud of them for what they're doing. Let me just talk about 2 or 3 things. Obviously, with farming, with agriculture, the one thing that everybody's aware of, the one thing that you all experience every day is this terrible drought that we have. This has been just historic in the level and the severity of drought. I was really pleased that Secretary Vilsack declared every county in Arkansas a disaster area. So every farmer in the state should check with their local USDA office to find out what that might mean for them, because it's going to be different for different people and different types of farming. But certainly we encourage you to do that. There is some relief out there. We also have the Farm Bill. The Senate passed. The Senate passed a Farm Bill several weeks ago, passed by a big bipartisan vote, 64-35. Actually, Senator Bozeman and I did not vote for it because of the rice provisions and a few other things, but I was really cheering on the bipartisan efforts. And also included in the Senate Farm Bill is a very healthy disaster relief set of programs. So I hope that when the House gets back in session, they'll fix the rice and a few other things, the catfish and a few other things like that, and we'll be able to send it back to the Senate, and it'll be something I can vote for, I hope. But we should all be pulling for that Senate bill as modified to pass because of the disaster programs in it. So the Senate has done that in a very bipartisan way. I hope that when these congressmen are home over this break, whether it's here in Arkansas or up in Iowa or Kansas or Georgia, wherever they are, I'm hoping their constituents are talking to them about the importance of passing a good farm bill. The other thing is that I've started not simply because of the drought, but we're using the drought to get this started as a water caucus in the Senate. There are a lot of issues that water touches on. As we know, I saw Butch Calhoun, our Secretary of Agriculture here. Water is critically important, of course, to agriculture, but it touches so many other areas, like just having clean drinking water for people. Industry doesn't want to come into a place that doesn't have good sources of water. You can go down the long list, health reasons, all these other things of why water is so important. So we're starting a water caucus in the Senate to try to get senators who are interested in water policy together to talk about those things. And in Arkansas, that's going to take many forms in Arkansas, but one area is with Biomeda and Grand Prairie. Those 2 irrigation projects, those 2 irrigation districts, these are people, and you all know, many of you all are participating in this, they've been working for decades to try to fix this water issue. It's not just for the farmers. Sometimes some of the national media, when they talk about this, they talk about just farmers. It's important to the farmers, but also you have to remember that we think there are hundreds of communities that get their drinking water from those 2 aquifers all over the country. Those aquifers go under 8 states. So this is not just an Arkansas kind of Biomeda Grand Prairie area issue. We're really trying to help everybody, people in 8 states, by doing this. These are people who've been taxing themselves, they've organized themselves. The state has come through with some good dollars. The Corps of Engineers is helping. This is a total team effort. This year, I was able to get the funding that we needed through the Senate. We got sign-off through the Senate committee, the full Senate. Unfortunately, it's over in the House, and the House has not acted yet. We are waiting. We're desperately waiting on that to happen. I'm hoping that'll happen. I don't know what the status of that is as we speak, but certainly it's something that I continue to press forward. If you all want to reach out to your congressman, whether it be Congressman Crawford or Griffin or whoever your congressman happens to be, Ross, whoever it happens to be, please encourage them to do everything they can to try to get that money moving so that we can get that in by me in Grand Prairie. I'm very concerned about mothballing or shutting down the projects for a year because it's expensive to do that, then it's expensive to start them back up. We're losing money if we do that. So we've taken care of it on the Senate side, and I certainly hope we can do it on the House side as well. Let me say one last thing before I leave you all. Really, I want to say thank you. Thank you for doing all that you do. If you look at agriculture, look at the U.S. economy, agriculture is a core strength in the U.S. economy. It's something we don't talk about a lot because it maybe isn't as exciting as something that's high-tech. There's not a lot of, kind of whiz-bang value to it, I guess. But the truth is, we do farming very, very well in this country. We're a world leader. We are the world leader in farming practices and technology, various developments. This is where the action is, in the U.S. And we're really leading the world. In fact, we have a terribly bad trade deficit, but it would be absolutely horrendous if it weren't for agriculture, because we're a huge net exporter of ag products, and we want to keep that. We want to keep that core strength in the U.S. economy. It's folks like this right here. We all know it's so important to Arkansas because 1 in 6 jobs in this state is tied to agriculture, but we also need to remember that it's very important nationally that we have a very healthy ag economy and ag sector, because it's something we do very well. We have big advantages in that compared to the rest of the world. We're very efficient, very productive. We need to keep that. That's why these free trade agreements are important. That's why a farm bill is important. That's why, I have this jobs plan we call the 6-point solution, where we try to really focus on agriculture and also on manufacturing to try to keep America at the cutting edge of that and keep doing great things. But I want to say thank you to everyone in this room, because y'all make that a reality. And thank you for having me. We appreciate all that you do. And if I can ever do anything, please don't hesitate to call me or get on my website or email me or however you want to contact me, write me a letter. I'd love to hear from you. We'll try to help any way we can. Thank you very much.
I also like to recognize again one of our platform guests, Dr. Bobbitt, that is the president of the University of Arkansas System, and appreciate you being here and looking at our program. One announcement, King Cat Services here said that we served 287 people this for lunch. Thank you. Now we're going to have Dr. Buckner to announce the winners in the tractor competition.
My name is Vince Wiley. I'm the farm manager of our Pine Bluff campus. What we're going to do next is to give out our awards for our tractors, antique tractors. As you come into the campus, on the left we had our antique tractors. We had 11 tractors and 6 presenters. What we're going to do, first I'm going to announce the first 5 participants, and then the 6th person will be best of show or our winner. All right, our first participant was Mr. Everett Harvey. Mr. Harvey. All right, our next contestant was Mr. David Taylor. Mr. Taylor. Next, we have Mr. Ken West. Mr. Ken West. Next, we have Mr. Joe Matthews. and for our final prize of the day, and this is for the oldest tractor that we have here today. And that honor goes to Mr. Larry and Pinky Harrington. 1934 Ford. I mean, not Ford, John Deere. We would like to thank all our participants. They've come here year after year and they help us out every year. So thank you.
And this concludes our program. Thank you so very, very much for coming. We'll see you in 2 years, if not sooner.